Before I was a comedian, I was a furniture salesman. Travel all over the world going to furniture shows. I remember I was at a furniture show in Budapest, and I remember while I was there, I was very bored. So I left, and I went to go get a drink. Now, I was at this local bar, and I noticed that to the table next to me, there was this very pretty lady. And I looked at this pretty lady, and she looked at me, and we smiled, and then she gestured for me to join her. Which I did, but I ran into a problem. See, I can't speak Hungarian, and she couldn't speak English. So we communicated via napkin. First, I drew a cup and a saucer, showed it to her, she nodded, and we drank coffee. Then I drew a chicken, showed it to her, she nodded, and we ate duck. Not very good at drawing. Anyways, the evening went fine, but I was about to leave because it was weird. But then she takes a napkin from me, and on it she draws a bed. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, but what I can't figure out is, how did she know I was a furniture salesman? As people, we are conditioned to obey moral ethic. But when posed with extreme circumstance, anybody and everybody is capable of the worst. For an aspiring comedian, his actions and decisions under extreme pressure dictate his possibility in a successful career. My Dog's Got No Nose, by Aldrige. I was never given the facts of life as such. I was, however, given two bits of advice from my mother. The first being always be a gentleman, and the second being never punch a girl in the stomach. And that was it, my facts of life. And that was my mother. And I never really knew anybody as down to earth as her, that is, until I met Judith, my wife. So there I was, successful photographer now with everything you could ask for. Big house, 2 cars, etc., etc. And all I wanted to be was a stand-up comedian. Judith had her dreams too, She wanted to move to the country and breed dogs. We actually had this King Charles Spaniel with a pedigree as long as my arm. It was a crazy animal, though, no discipline whatsoever. We actually had this rule that because the road in front of our house was very busy, every time the doorbell rang, we had to grab the dog or else we would bolt out. Eventually, it got so bad that every time the doorbell rang, the dog would go and hide, because he doesn't like being grabbed or something. Anyways, there's one day I'm on the phone with my bank manager, Judith, she's out somewhere, and the doorbell goes. So I told my bank manager I'll have to call you back and I go look for the dog, but this time, he's very, very well hidden. The doorbell goes again, and without thinking about it, I open the door, and like lightning, he is out off to the road, bang! He's hit by a car, and I rush out, he's dead. And I can't believe it. And Judith, she comes home, she blames me. Now, I won't go into the fight. Suffice to say that Judith packed her bags to live with her sister Sarah and Sarah's husband Roger. Now, the thing about Sarah and Roger is that Sarah is this wonderful, beautiful lady, and Roger is this horrible, miserable man. Anyways, 3 weeks go by. Judith refuses to communicate with me. Won't see me, won't call me. But then I get a phone call from Sarah. She's asking me if I'm okay. I tell her I'm going to pursue a career in comedy. And just like that, before I know it, Judith is back home reminding me that we always had this option. Either I become a comedian or we move to the country and breed dogs. So I'm thinking, how in the world did that happen? One minute I'm on my own, happy as can be. The next I'm involved in a race against time, and she's totally confident, of course. Visiting real estate agents while I visit theatrical agents and local clubs, and before you would know it, we get an offer on the house. I guess timing is everything. And, I was beginning to accept it. I was. So one day, out of the blue, I get a phone call from one of the local club owners. He was telling me that next Tuesday at 11:30, there will be a man there looking for new talent. I was so excited I was nearly jumping, and then from the other room I hear, who was that? That was one of the local club owners. They've offered me an audition. And what a fight that started. So I practiced in secret. And Tuesday comes around, and I go to the club, but the man there tells me that they had changed the day, that I had missed it. He claims to have left me a message, but then he says he left this message with my wife. So I go straight home, and I find Judith in the kitchen at the table drinking coffee, and she looks up at me. She says to me, "You're home early." And I went mad. I wanted to hit her, but I didn't because of my mother, as you know. So I hate everything else, and I stormed the house. God, I was angry. To cut a long story short, Sarah comes around to find Judith slumped over on the floor. I guess she had had a stroke, and I guess it was pretty bad because she ended up not being able to do much of anything. I mean, it's not like it was a surprise. Judith, she had heart problems. I mean, I knew about her. But we had this thing, right? Because she couldn't speak, and I was giving her painkillers. Pain was really bad that day. She'd run for 2. I guess there was one day the pain got so bad she tried to get me to give her 4 pills. I didn't. It's hard saying that way, you know. Sarah came around a lot though, which was a great help. I don't know what I would have done without her. And we would sit on either side of Judith's bed talking on and on and on for hours until Judith fell asleep. And she never really seemed in a hurry to get home. And Raj was just always so miserable. There was one night she'd come over. I guess her and Roger had gotten into a fight beforehand. I guess Roger had blamed me for what happened to Judith, and don't get me wrong, I did too. But Sarah found herself defending me. Because of that, a lot of things were said. She just seemed so upset. So I took her hands. She didn't pull away. You know, we must have been holding hands for 10 seconds before we looked at Judith. And she was awake, and Sarah runs out of the house crying, and I tried to distract the situation by asking Judith if she's in pain. And she gets a little odd. And breaths for 2. Another. And another, but you know, this time I said no. But she made this noise. It was frightening in its intensity. She made it again and again until I gave her another one, and then a noise, and then another one, and then a noise, and then. And then the whole bottle. I stared at her for ages. And there was a knock at the door. And it was Roger. And Roger was angry. He starts pushing me, telling me how dare he touch his wife, and he starts throwing punches. I stumble over by the fireplace, and I grab the fireplace and make a wild swing. I should have run. I mean, it could have, but I did not. I swung. Again. And again. And again. Manslaughter, murder. 30 years.
years I waited to make my debut. 6 of them here. You know, the correctional officer who organizes these events, he's very pleased with my performances. Before it was a comedian,